Before you blame people for disappointing you, ask yourself one quiet question. Why did I give them so much power over my happiness? Most people are not broken by loneliness. They are broken by expectation. They wait for one message to feel chosen. They wait for one apology to feel healed. They wait for one person to change so their heart can finally rest. But peace does not begin when people become better. Peace begins when you stop needing them to be. The day you expect nothing, you stop begging life through other people. The day you need no one to be happy, you become free in a way most people will never understand. This is not about becoming cold. This is about becoming whole. 1. Stop giving people the power to control your happiness. The moment your happiness depends on how someone treats you, your peace becomes unsafe. One message can lift you. One silence can break you. One cold reply can ruin your whole day. And one person's mood can decide whether you feel valuable or worthless. This is not love. This is emotional dependence. You have given another human being the key to your inner world, and now they can enter whenever they want, disturb everything, and leave you trying to repair yourself alone. People are not always stable. They change with time, mood, desire, pressure, ego, and interest. If your happiness is tied to them, then your heart will keep shaking every time they change. You will start watching their tone, counting their replies, reading meaning into their silence, and begging for small signs that you still matter. Slowly, you stop living your own life and begin surviving inside someone else's attention. To need no one to be happy does not mean you stop loving people. It means you stop making them your oxygen. Love them, enjoy them, respect them, but never make their presence the foundation of your peace. Your happiness must come from your own mind, your own purpose, your own self-respect, and the quiet strength of knowing that even if someone leaves, you will not lose yourself. That is where real freedom begins. 2. Expect nothing, so nothing can break you. Most people do not suffer only because someone hurt them. They suffer because they expected something different. They expected loyalty from someone who was only comfortable with their presence. They expected care from someone who enjoyed being loved but never learned how to love back. They expected effort, honesty, respect, and the same energy they gave, and when it did not return, their heart felt betrayed. Expectation is dangerous because it creates an invisible promise in your mind. The other person may never say, "I will always be there," but because you gave them your time, your attention, your kindness, and your heart, you silently believe they should give the same. Then, when they act differently, you feel broken, not because life ended, but because the story in your mind collapsed. To expect nothing does not mean you become cold. It means you become wise. You stop giving with hidden hope. You stop loving with a secret demand. You stop treating people like they owe you peace because you were good to them. Give because it reflects your character, but never make your happiness depend on their return. When you expect nothing, you become hard to disappoint. Every kind action feels like a gift, not a payment. Every silence loses its poison. Every absence becomes information, not destruction. This is not weakness. This is freedom. 3. Stop chasing those who are peaceful without you. One of the hardest truths to accept is this: some people are perfectly fine while you are losing sleep over them. You are checking your phone, replaying old moments, wondering what changed, blaming yourself, and waiting for them to care. But they are living normally. They are laughing, moving, eating, sleeping, and continuing life as if your absence did not shake them at all. That silence is painful, but it is also clear. A person who truly values you does not leave you begging for basic attention. They do not make you feel like your heart is a burden. They do not watch you suffer and still remain comfortable. When someone is peaceful without you, stop disturbing your own peace, trying to prove you deserve a place in their life. Chasing does not make someone love you more. It only teaches them that they can give less and still keep you waiting. Every time you run after someone who is not turning back, you leave another piece of yourself behind. So stop chasing. Step back. Breathe. Let them show you who they are without your effort holding the connection together. If they care, they will come with respect. If they do not, their absence has already given you the answer. Real peace begins when you stop running toward people who are not afraid to lose you. 4. Master being alone without feeling empty. Being alone only hurts when you believe someone else is supposed to complete you. The room feels heavy, the silence feels loud, and your mind begins to search for a person to fill the space that you have not yet learned to fill with yourself. This is why many people return to people who hurt them. Not because the love was healthy, not because the respect was real, but because the pain of being alone feels scarier than the pain of being mistreated. But listen carefully. Being alone is not your enemy. Emptiness is your teacher. It shows you the places inside you that you abandoned while you were busy chasing someone else's attention. It shows you where you became dependent, where you forgot your own voice, where you stopped building your own life because you were waiting for another person to make you feel alive. Many people fear solitude because solitude removes the noise. When there is no message to wait for, no person to impress, no drama to solve, and no attention to chase, you are left with yourself. At first, that can feel uncomfortable. You begin to hear your own thoughts. You begin to feel emotions you kept avoiding. You begin to notice how much of your happiness was borrowed from other people's presence. But this is where real strength begins. A weak person uses people as an escape from themselves. A strong person learns to sit with themselves until their own presence becomes peaceful. They do not need constant calls, constant validation, constant company, or constant distraction to feel okay. They can drink tea alone, walk alone, work alone, eat alone, think alone, and still feel complete. This kind of person is powerful because they cannot be controlled by absence. When you master being alone, people lose the power to punish you with distance. Their silence no longer destroys you. Their absence no longer makes you feel worthless. Their coldness no longer makes you run after them. You simply observe, you understand, you adjust, you continue. This does not mean you stop needing human connection. Every heart needs love, warmth, and companionship. But there is a difference between wanting people and depending on them. Wanting someone says, "Your presence is beautiful." Depending on someone says, "Without your presence, I am nothing." One is love. The other is emotional slavery. The art of being alone is the art of returning home to yourself. It is waking up and not checking who remembered you before you remember yourself. It is building a routine that supports your peace. It is protecting your time from people who only come when they are bored. It is learning to enjoy your own thoughts instead of being frightened by them. Start small. Spend time without reaching for your phone every few minutes. Sit in silence without trying to escape it. Go for a walk without needing someone beside you. Eat a meal without feeling embarrassed that you are alone. Write your thoughts. Clean your space. Read something that strengthens your mind. Build your body. Build your faith. Build your future. Make your life so meaningful that another person becomes a blessing, not a necessity. Because when your life is empty, you will invite anyone inside just to hear noise. But when your life is full, you become selective. You stop accepting half love, fake care, and temporary attention. You stop letting people enter your peace just because you are afraid of being alone. The person who has mastered solitude does not beg. They do not panic when someone leaves. They do not chase people who are comfortable without them. They do not confuse loneliness with failure. They understand that sometimes life removes people so you can finally meet yourself again. And one day you will realize something beautiful. The silence that once scared you has become your strength. The loneliness that once made you desperate has become your freedom. The space that once felt empty has become peaceful. You are no longer waiting for someone to save you from your own life. You are living it. That is when you become dangerous to everything that once controlled you. Because a person who is peaceful alone cannot be manipulated by attention, trapped by fear, or broken by absence. They may love deeply, but they no longer lose themselves. They may welcome people, but they no longer need people to feel whole. Master being alone and you will never again accept pain just to avoid silence. 5. Never beg for what should come naturally. There are some things in life you should never have to beg for. You should not have to beg someone to respect you. You should not have to beg someone to care. You should not have to beg someone to make time. You should not have to beg someone to speak gently. You should not have to beg someone to stop hurting you, because the things that come from a sincere heart do not need to be pulled out like teeth. They arrive naturally. They arrive with warmth. They arrive with effort. They arrive without you losing your dignity just to receive them. Many people stay trapped because they confuse begging with patience. They keep explaining their pain to someone who already understands it. They keep repeating the same sentences, hoping one day the person will finally realize, finally change, finally value them, finally treat them with the softness they deserve. But sometimes the painful truth is this: they already know what hurts you. They simply do not care enough to stop. That truth can break the heart, but it can also set the heart free, because once you understand that basic respect should not require 1,000 explanations, you stop wasting your life trying to teach someone how to be human. You stop turning your pain into speeches. You stop sending long messages to people who only reply with cold words. You stop begging for attention from someone who has attention for everything else. You stop asking for love from a place that keeps giving you confusion. Love that is real does not make you feel like a burden for wanting the basics. It does not make you feel guilty for needing kindness. It does not make you afraid to speak. It does not punish you with silence every time you express your feelings. It does not make you feel like you are asking for too much when you are only asking to be treated with care. If someone truly values you, they will not need to be forced to show it. Their actions will carry it. Their tone will carry it. Their presence will carry it. Their consistency will carry it. You will not have to keep searching for proof in small crumbs, because their effort will be clear enough to calm your heart. But when someone does not value you, even your tears will feel like noise to them. You can explain perfectly and still be misunderstood. You can love deeply and still be ignored. You can give everything and still receive the bare minimum, not because you are not enough, but because you are asking the wrong person to give what their heart is not ready to give. This is where self-respect must become stronger than attachment. Attachment says, maybe if I try harder, they will change. Self-respect says, if they wanted to treat me better, they already would. Attachment says, I cannot leave because I love them. Self-respect says, I cannot stay where love keeps making me smaller. Attachment says, maybe I am asking too much. Self-respect says, I am asking the wrong person. Never beg for what should come naturally, because begging slowly changes you. It makes you question your worth. It makes you accept less than you deserve. It makes you celebrate tiny efforts that should have been normal. It makes you grateful for crumbs because you have been starving for so long. And the most dangerous part is this: the more you beg, the more the other person learns that they do not have to rise. They learn that your love is available even when they are careless. They learn that your forgiveness is easy. They learn that your boundaries are weak. They learn that they can disappear, return, hurt you, ignore you, and still find you waiting. So one day, you must stop. Not with drama, not with revenge, not with shouting. Just stop. Stop explaining your pain to someone who keeps creating it. Stop asking for time from someone who always has excuses. Stop requesting basic kindness from someone who only becomes gentle when they fear losing you. Stop trying to convince someone to see your value when their behavior has already shown you how little they protect it. Your silence can become your dignity. Your distance can become your answer. Your absence can become the boundary your words failed to create. Because when you stop begging, you start seeing clearly. You realize who comes only when you pull them. You realize who cares only when you complain. You realize who changes only for a few days, then returns to the same behavior. You realize who loved your availability more than they loved you. This realization hurts, but it is clean pain. It is the pain that heals you instead of the pain that keeps you trapped. Understand this deeply. What is meant for you will not require you to destroy yourself to keep it. The right people will not make you feel ashamed for having feelings. They will not make you earn every ounce of affection. They will not treat your heart like something they can pick up and drop whenever life becomes busy. They will not make you beg to be included, remembered, respected, or chosen. The right people may not be perfect, but they will be willing. They will listen. They will care when you speak. They will correct themselves when they hurt you. They will not make you feel alone while standing beside you. And until those people become strong enough to choose peace over begging, this is the art of expecting nothing. It does not mean you expect bad from everyone. It means you stop forcing good from people who have already shown you their limits. It means you stop placing your happiness in the hands of someone who cannot even hold your feelings with care. It means you stop turning yourself into a beggar at the door of someone's attention. You are not asking for luxury. You are asking for honesty. You are asking for respect. You are asking for consistency. You are asking for effort. These are not impossible things. They only feel impossible when you are asking them from someone who does not want to give them. So protect your heart. Keep your dignity. Let people be responsible for the energy they bring into your life. If they bring confusion, step back. If they bring disrespect, step back. If they bring pain again and again, step back. Do not wait until your soul becomes tired of its own hope. The moment you stop begging for natural things, your life becomes lighter. You no longer chase answers from people who enjoy being unclear. You no longer lose sleep over those who are peaceful without you. You no longer measure your worth by someone's weak effort. You begin to understand that your peace is more valuable than their attention. And when you finally walk away from begging, something powerful happens inside you. You remember yourself. You remember that before you needed their message, you had your own mind. Before you waited for their care, you had your own life. Before you begged for their love, you had your own dignity. Never beg for what should come naturally, because the love you have to beg for will never feel safe when it arrives. 6. Let people reveal who they really are. One of the greatest signs of maturity is learning to stop forcing people to become the version you created in your mind. Many times we do not suffer because we do not know the truth. We suffer because we keep arguing with the truth. We see the coldness, but we call it stress. We see the inconsistency, but we call it being busy. We see the selfishness, but we call it a bad mood. We see the disrespect, but we tell ourselves maybe they did not mean it. Again and again, we protect the image of someone while their actions keep damaging our peace. But people reveal themselves clearly when you stop making excuses for them. They reveal themselves in how they treat you when they no longer need something from you. They reveal themselves in how they speak when they are angry. They reveal themselves in how they act when you set a boundary. They reveal themselves in how they respond to your pain. They reveal themselves in whether they take responsibility or turn every wound back onto you. The mistake many people make is that they keep interrupting the revelation. The person shows them selfishness, but they explain it away. The person shows them carelessness, but they cover it with hope. The person shows them disrespect, but they keep remembering the one good moment from months ago and use it as proof that the person still cares. This is how attachment blinds you. It makes you loyal to potential instead of reality. Potential says they could become better. Reality says, look at how they are treating you now. Potential says, maybe one day they will understand. Reality says, how many times have you already explained? Potential says, deep down they care. Reality says, then why does their care disappear when you need it most? To let people reveal who they really are means you stop chasing their words and start watching their patterns. Words can be soft, words can be beautiful, words can be emotional, but patterns are honest. A person can say they value you and still ignore you. They can say they respect you and still cross your boundaries. They can say they miss you and still do nothing to show up properly. They can say they are sorry and still repeat the same behavior. A person's pattern is their real language. If someone hurts you once and changes, that is growth. But if someone hurts you again and again, then apologizes just enough to keep you there, that is a pattern. If someone disappears every time you need support, then returns when they need comfort, that is a pattern. If someone only becomes kind when you are ready to walk away, that is a pattern. If someone makes you feel guilty for having needs, that is a pattern. Do not ignore patterns just because the words are sweet. The art of expecting nothing gives you the power to observe without desperation. When you expect someone to become what you need, you keep interfering with reality. You keep pushing, explaining, begging, reminding, repairing, and hoping. But when you expect nothing, you become calm enough to see what is actually there. You stop asking, "Why are they like this?" and start asking, "Why am I still pretending not to see it?" This question changes everything, because many people are not confused, they are attached. They know the person is inconsistent, they know the relationship is draining, they know the respect is missing, they know the peace is gone, but they are afraid of what the truth will demand from them. They are afraid that if they admit what they see, they will have to step back. They will have to stop chasing. They will have to choose themselves. So they keep waiting for a clearer sign. But how many signs does your heart need before it believes what your soul already knows? Let people reveal themselves and believe them when they do. Do not keep asking a person to prove they are better than their actions. Do not keep begging someone to become gentle after they have shown you they are comfortable being cruel. Do not keep trusting someone's promise when their behavior keeps giving you the opposite answer. This does not mean you become harsh. It means you become honest. Honesty is not hatred. Seeing clearly is not bitterness. Walking away is not revenge. Sometimes the most peaceful thing you can do is accept that someone is not evil, but they are not healthy for you. They may have good qualities, they may have beautiful moments, they may have once made you feel special, but if their presence now costs you your peace, then you must stop using old memories to excuse present pain. Some people are lessons, not destinations. They enter your life to show you what happens when you give too much access, trust too quickly, ignore your intuition, and abandon yourself for emotional comfort. They teach you the price of not listening to your inner voice. They teach you that love without wisdom can become a trap. They teach you that your heart needs boundaries, not just feelings, and the lesson ends when you stop repeating it. Let people reveal who they really are by giving them space to act without your pressure. Stop reminding them to care. Stop teaching them how to value you every week. Stop carrying the whole connection on your back. Step back and watch what they do when you are no longer forcing closeness. Do they come with respect, or do they disappear? Do they take responsibility, or do they blame you? Do they protect the connection, or do they only protect their ego? Do they miss you, or do they miss your availability? These answers are powerful because they are not created by your imagination. They are shown by reality. When you stop forcing people, you discover who truly wants to be in your life. You discover who only stayed because you made it easy. You discover who only cared when you were useful. You discover who respected your presence and who only enjoyed your attention. This discovery may hurt, but it will also free you. Because once someone reveals their truth, you no longer need to live in confusion. You no longer need to decode mixed signals. You no longer need to keep asking why they changed. You no longer need to beg for clarity from someone whose behavior is already clear. Their actions are the answer. The strongest people are not those who never feel pain. They are the ones who stop denying what pain is trying to show them. They do not close their eyes just because the truth is uncomfortable. They do not keep building a future with someone who keeps destroying the present. They do not stay loyal to an illusion after reality has spoken. Let people reveal themselves. Let them show their effort. Let them show their intentions. Let them show their consistency. Let them show their character when things are not easy. Then decide with wisdom, not fear, because your peace grows when you stop fighting reality. You do not need to hate anyone. You do not need to expose anyone. You do not need to punish anyone. Just see clearly, accept quietly, move wisely, and remember this: when someone shows you who they are, do not keep rewriting the story because your heart does not like the ending. Sometimes the ending is the protection. Sometimes the disappointment is the answer. Sometimes the person you wanted so badly is also the person you needed to outgrow. Let them reveal themselves. Then choose yourself with calm dignity. 7. Choose peace over painful attachment. There is a kind of attachment that looks like love from the outside, but inside it feels like fear. You are not staying because your heart is peaceful. You are staying because you are afraid of what will happen if you let go. You are afraid of the silence after their name disappears from your day. You are afraid of sleeping without waiting for their message. You are afraid of accepting that the person you wanted so deeply may not be the person your soul can safely keep. This is where many people lose themselves. They call it love, but it is really emotional survival. They keep choosing the person, even when the person keeps costing them peace. They keep choosing the memory, even when the reality keeps hurting them. They keep choosing hope, even when the pattern keeps repeating. Slowly, attachment becomes a prison, and the heart starts calling the prison home. Painful attachment is dangerous because it does not always feel like weakness. Sometimes it feels intense, it feels meaningful, it feels like destiny. You tell yourself, I cannot feel this much for no reason, but feelings alone do not prove that something is healthy. Sometimes you feel deeply because the wound is deep, not because the connection is right. Sometimes the pull is strong because your heart is trying to fix what broke you, not because your life is meant to stay there. Peace is different. Peace does not make you beg. Peace does not make you overthink every word. Peace does not make you lose sleep while another person sleeps comfortably. Peace does not make you shrink yourself to keep someone close. Peace does not ask you to betray your dignity just to protect an attachment. When something is right for your soul, it may challenge you, but it will not constantly destroy you. It may require patience, but it will not require self-abandonment. It may have difficult moments, but it will not make confusion feel like your normal life. If your heart is always anxious, if your mind is always tired, if your body feels heavy every time you think about them, then you must stop asking, how do I keep this person? And start asking, what is this connection doing to me? Attachment says, do not lose them. Peace says, do not lose yourself. That one sentence can save your life. Because losing someone may hurt for a season, but losing yourself can hurt for years. When you lose yourself, you stop trusting your own feelings. You stop believing your own eyes. You start accepting behavior you once promised yourself you would never accept. You keep lowering your standards because the fear of being alone feels louder than the truth of being mistreated. And this is how painful attachment wins. It does not destroy you all at once. It trains you slowly. First you accept one small disrespect. Then you accept one cold reply. Then you accept one broken promise. Then you accept being ignored, being blamed, being left confused, being treated like an option. Each time your heart says this hurts. But attachment says, stay. Maybe tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow keeps looking like yesterday. At some point, you must become honest enough to admit that the pain is not temporary. It has become the pattern. You are not going through a difficult phase. You are living inside an emotional cycle. They hurt you, you react, they explain, you soften, they return for a while. Then the same pain comes back wearing a different face. This cycle can continue for months, years, even a lifetime, unless you choose peace over the addiction to what might be. Choosing peace does not mean you stopped loving. It means you stopped suffering in the name of love. It means you finally understood that love without peace becomes a burden, and attachment without self-respect becomes a slow destruction. You can love someone and still know they are not good for you. You can miss someone and still refuse to return. You can care about someone and still choose distance because your soul cannot keep paying the price. This is maturity. It is not coldness, it is clarity. Many people think walking away means the love was not real. No, sometimes walking away proves that the love for yourself finally became real too. You are not required to stay where you are emotionally starving just to prove that you are loyal. Loyalty is beautiful when it is mutual. But when loyalty becomes one-sided, it becomes self-harm. You keep protecting a connection that is not protecting you. You keep choosing someone who keeps forgetting to choose you. That is not devotion. That is damage. There is a moment when your soul gets tired of begging your heart to listen. It gets tired of the anxiety, the waiting, the disappointment, the hope, the confusion, the emotional hunger. It whispers, "Please choose peace." At first, you may ignore that whisper because attachment is loud. Attachment reminds you of their good moments. It replays the first conversation, the warm memories, the promises, the laughter, the times they made you feel seen. It says, "Look, they were not always like this." But peace answers, "Look at how they are now." This is where you must become strong. Not angry, not bitter, not dramatic. Strong. Strong enough to stop using old memories to excuse present pain. Strong enough to stop loving someone's potential more than your own reality. Strong enough to admit that a beautiful beginning does not always guarantee a peaceful ending. People can be important and still not be healthy. They can be unforgettable and still not be safe. They can have good qualities and still be wrong for your peace. Life is not always simple. Sometimes the person who hurt you also gave you moments you will never forget. Sometimes the one you need to release is also the one you once prayed to keep. That is why choosing peace can hurt so much. You are not only letting go of a person, you are letting go of the future you imagined with them. But an imagined future cannot be more valuable than your present peace. Read that again inside your heart. An imagined future cannot be more valuable than your present peace. Because while you are waiting for what they might become, your life is happening now. Your mornings are heavy now. Your mind is tired now. Your self-worth is suffering now. Your energy is fading now. Your joy is disappearing now. You cannot keep sacrificing your present for a future that only exists in hope. Painful attachment makes you live in possibility. Peace brings you back to reality. Reality may hurt, but reality also heals. Reality says, this is what they do, not what they promise. Reality says, this is how you feel after being with them. Reality says, this is the cost of staying. Reality says, this is how many times you have already cried over the same wound. When you accept reality, you stop fighting with life. You stop forcing a connection to become something it has never proven it can be. There is power in choosing peace quietly. You do not need to announce your healing. You do not need to make them understand. You do not need to win the last argument. You do not need to prove how much they hurt you. Some people will never understand your pain because understanding it would require them to face their own behavior. Do not waste your freedom trying to get an apology from someone who benefits from your confusion. Choose peace anyway. Choose peace when your heart wants to text them again. Choose peace when you miss the version of them that was gentle. Choose peace when loneliness tries to make the past look better than it was. Choose peace when your mind says, maybe this time will be different, but your experience says, you have heard that before. Choose peace when the attachment shakes, because that shaking is not proof you are making the wrong decision. Sometimes it is only proof that you are breaking an old emotional habit. Healing often feels like loss before it feels like freedom. At first, peace may feel boring because you are used to emotional storms. When you have lived too long in uncertainty, calmness can feel strange. You may confuse anxiety with love because anxiety was always present when you cared about them. You may think, if I am not worried, maybe I do not love deeply. But love is not supposed to feel like panic. Love is not supposed to keep your nervous system in danger. Peace may feel quiet, but quiet is not emptiness. Quiet is your heart recovering from noise. Give yourself permission to choose the life that does not constantly hurt you. You do not need to wait until you hate them. You do not need to wait until they do something unforgivable. You do not need to collect more evidence that your heart is tired. Sometimes I am no longer at peace here is enough. Sometimes this connection is making me lose myself is enough. Sometimes I love you but I cannot keep suffering for you is enough. Your peace does not need permission. The hardest part is that painful attachment knows how to speak in your voice. It will say, "You are giving up too easily, but you know how long you tried." It will say, "Maybe you are being selfish, but protecting your soul is not selfish." It will say, "What if no one else loves you?" But the answer is simple. It is better to be alone with dignity than loved in a way that destroys you. It will say, "What if they change after you leave?" Then let them change, but do not keep bleeding while waiting for a possibility they never respected when you were there. You are not a waiting room for someone's maturity. This is one of the most powerful truths you can carry. You are not here to be someone's emotional practice ground. You are not here to absorb their confusion until they finally learn how to love. You are not here to be hurt repeatedly so another person can grow slowly at your expense. You can wish them healing without offering your heart as the place where they keep making mistakes. Choose peace, not because you are weak, but because you are done confusing suffering with depth. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally care about your own life too. Not because you want to punish them, but because you want to protect the part of you that still believes in gentleness, safety, and real love. If you keep staying in painful attachment, eventually you may become someone you do not recognize. You may become suspicious, bitter, insecure, desperate, angry, numb, or afraid. You may start thinking love always hurts. You may start believing that being chosen requires pain. You may lose the softness that once made you beautiful. And the tragedy is this: the wrong connection does not only break your heart, it can change your relationship with yourself. Do not let that happen. Do not let one person's inability to love you properly make you abandon your own peace. Do not let their inconsistency teach you that you are hard to love. Do not let their coldness convince you that your warmth was too much. Do not let their absence make you question your value. Their limits are not your identity. Their behavior is not your worth. Their failure to choose you with care does not mean you are unworthy of being chosen. It means you must choose yourself now. Choosing yourself may feel uncomfortable if you have spent your life choosing others first. At first, your boundaries may feel cruel, your silence may feel heavy, your distance may feel wrong, but that is only because you are used to abandoning yourself to keep peace with people who were disturbing yours. Real peace sometimes begins with guilt, because your old self is not used to being protected. Keep going. There will come a day when you will look back and understand why your soul kept asking for distance. You will remember the nights you cried, the days you waited, the messages you reread, the excuses you accepted, the version of yourself that kept hoping. And you will not hate that version. You will feel compassion for them. You will realize they were not foolish, they were hurting. They were trying to hold on to something they believed was love. But then you will also feel proud, because eventually you chose peace. You stopped returning to what kept reopening your wounds. You stopped calling anxiety a connection. You stopped mistaking intensity for intimacy. You stopped allowing temporary warmth to erase repeated disrespect. You stopped letting loneliness drag you back to a place where your soul could not breathe. That is freedom. Freedom is not always loud. Sometimes freedom is simply waking up and not checking if they texted. It is eating without a heavy chest. It is laughing without guilt. It is sleeping without waiting. It is walking without the weight of someone's confusion on your back. It is realizing that the person you thought you could not live without was also the person who made you forget how peaceful life could feel. And when that peace returns, protect it. Do not trade it again for uncertain attention. Do not trade it for someone who only values you when you are leaving. Do not trade it for chemistry without consistency. Do not trade it for promises without change. Do not trade it for love that feels powerful in words but painful in reality. Your peace is not a small thing. It is your inner home. It is where your strength grows. It is where your mind becomes clear. It is where your heart becomes soft again. It is where you begin to hear your own voice after years of listening to someone else's silence. Painful attachment tells you, without them, you will be empty. But peace shows you, without them, you can finally become full. Painful attachment tells you, stay because you love them. Peace tells you, leave because you also love yourself. Painful attachment tells you you need closure. Peace tells you their pattern was closure. Painful attachment tells you try one more time. Peace tells you you have already tried enough. At some point, enough must become enough. Not because you are tired for one day, not because you are emotional for one night, but because your soul has seen the truth again and again. You cannot heal in the same place that keeps teaching you to doubt yourself. You cannot become whole while staying attached to someone who benefits from your brokenness. You cannot find happiness while holding tightly to what keeps taking it away. So choose peace over painful attachment. Choose the quiet life over the confusing connection. Choose the clean heartbreak over the endless cycle. Choose the temporary loneliness over the permanent loss of yourself. Choose the path where your heart may hurt, but your dignity stays alive. Because one day, the person who chose peace becomes unrecognizable to the person who once begged for love. They no longer chase. They no longer collapse over silence. They no longer accept pain just because it comes with small moments of affection. They no longer need someone to stay in order to feel worthy. They become calm. They become clear. They become whole. And that is when life changes. Because when you choose peace, you stop being controlled by who comes, who goes, who replies, who remembers, who chooses you, and who fails to see your value. You return to yourself. You stand in your own life again. You understand that love is beautiful, but peace is necessary. You understand that people are blessings when they come with respect, but they become lessons when they come with pain. Let the lesson finish. Let the attachment break. Let peace win. 8. Become whole enough to need no one. The final freedom is not when everyone stays. The final freedom is when you stop falling apart when someone leaves. This is the highest point of inner strength. Not becoming cold, not becoming proud, not pretending you do not care, but becoming so deeply connected to yourself that no person's absence can make you forget your own worth. You may miss them, you may feel pain, you may remember the moments, but you do not collapse. You do not beg. You do not run after someone who has already shown you they can walk away from your peace. To become whole enough to need no one means you stop living like your happiness is waiting inside another person. You stop believing someone must arrive before your life can begin. You stop treating love like rescue. You stop searching for someone to complete what you have not yet built within yourself. Because the truth is, if you feel empty inside, even the right person will feel like pressure. You will expect them to heal wounds they did not create. You will expect them to fill silence they cannot fill forever. You will expect them to prove your worth every day, because deep inside, you have not yet believed it yourself. This is why wholeness matters. A whole person can love without clinging. They can care without begging. They can miss someone without returning to what broke them. They can enjoy connection without becoming addicted to attention. Their heart is open, but their identity is not for sale. Most people do not want love. They want escape. They want someone to distract them from their loneliness, their fear, their self-doubt, their unfinished life, their unhealed memories. They call it love because it feels intense, but it is often hunger. And hunger makes people accept anything that looks like affection. When you are not whole, you confuse crumbs with meals. A small reply feels like love. A little attention feels like commitment. A temporary return feels like destiny. Someone being nice for one day makes you forget the weeks they made you feel unwanted. But when you become whole, crumbs no longer impress you. You no longer chase every person who gives you attention. You no longer open your heart just because someone knows the right words. You no longer mistake emotional excitement for emotional safety. You become calm enough to ask, does this person bring peace, or do they only bring intensity? That question protects you, because intensity can be dangerous. It can make you feel alive while slowly draining you. It can make you think something is deep when it is only unstable. It can make your heart beat faster while your soul becomes tired. But peace is different. Peace does not have to scream to be felt. Peace does not confuse you. Peace does not make you prove your value every day. Peace lets you breathe. A whole person chooses peace because they are no longer addicted to chaos. They do not need someone to text them to feel important. They do not need someone to praise them to feel valuable. They do not need someone to choose them before they choose themselves. Their worth is not waiting in another person's mouth. Their identity is not hanging on another person's mood. This is the kind of person you must become. Become so whole that someone's silence does not make you question your soul. Become so whole that someone's rejection does not make you reject yourself. Become so whole that someone leaving does not make you feel impossible to love. Become so whole that you can say, I wanted them, but I do not need them to survive. There is power in that sentence. I wanted them, but I do not need them to survive. Because desire is human. Attachment is dangerous. You can desire love, you can desire companionship, you can desire warmth, laughter, loyalty, and closeness. There is nothing wrong with wanting people in your life. But the moment wanting becomes needing, you become easy to control. If you need someone to feel happy, they can punish you with distance. If you need someone to feel valuable, they can destroy you with criticism. If you need someone to feel chosen, they can make you beg for basic effort. If you need someone to feel complete, they can keep you trapped by giving you just enough to stay hungry. This is why wholeness is protection. Wholeness says, I love your presence, but I will not die in your absence. Wholeness says, I care, but I will not abandon myself. Wholeness says, I can walk with you, but I can also walk alone. Wholeness says, you are welcome in my life, but you are not the owner of my peace. That is not arrogance. That is emotional maturity. People who are whole are not desperate to be understood by everyone. They do not explain themselves endlessly to people committed to misunderstanding them. They do not keep trying to prove they are good, loyal, loving, or worthy. They know their heart. They know their intentions. They know the life they are building. A whole person does not beg to be seen. They let people see what they are capable of seeing. This is important because not everyone has the eyes to value you. Some people will only understand your worth after they lose access to it. Some people will only respect your boundaries after they can no longer cross them. Some people will only notice your silence after they no longer benefit from your words. Do not wait for them to understand. Become whole enough to continue without their approval. The journey to wholeness begins when you stop asking, why did they not choose me? And start asking, why did I stop choosing myself? That question is uncomfortable, but it is powerful. It brings the focus back to your own life. It reminds you that the deepest wound is not always that someone left. Sometimes the deepest wound is that you left yourself while trying to keep them. You left your standards, you left your peace, you left your routine, you left your confidence, you left your dignity, you left your dreams, you left your own voice because you were too busy listening for theirs. Now it is time to return. Return to your body. Take care of it. Walk, stretch, breathe, rest, eat with respect, sleep with discipline. Your body has carried the weight of emotions you never spoke about. Treat it like a home, not like a machine. Return to your mind. Stop feeding it memories that reopen wounds. Stop replaying conversations that cannot be changed. Stop imagining futures with people who are not building anything with you in reality. Your mind needs direction. Give it something clean to focus on. Return to your purpose. Build something that belongs to you. A skill, a routine, a project, a stronger character, a peaceful home, a healthier heart, a future that does not depend on who stays and who leaves. Return to your self-respect. Keep promises to yourself. If you say you will not chase, do not chase. If you say you will rest, rest. If you say you will stop accepting disrespect, stop opening the door to it. Every promise you keep to yourself makes you trust yourself again, and that trust is the foundation of wholeness. Because when you trust yourself, you stop fearing life. You know that even if someone disappoints you, you will not abandon yourself. Even if something ends, you will rebuild. Even if your heart breaks, you will not crawl back to the same place just because healing feels hard. You know you can survive your emotions without being controlled by them. This is where many people fail. They think strength means not feeling pain. But real strength is feeling pain and still choosing wisely. Real strength is missing someone and still not texting. Real strength is crying and still not returning to what destroyed your peace. Real strength is wanting comfort and still refusing fake comfort. A whole person does not deny their emotions. They simply do not obey every emotion. They understand that feelings are visitors, not masters. Loneliness may visit, sadness may visit, nostalgia may visit, the desire to return may visit, but a visitor does not own the house. You can feel the emotion, listen to what it is showing you, and still choose what protects your future. That is maturity. When you become whole, you stop needing constant proof that you matter. You no longer measure your worth by who remembers you, who replies fast, who checks on you, who praises you, or who includes you. These things may feel good, but they are not your foundation. Your foundation is deeper. It is built on self-knowledge, self-respect, discipline, faith, peace, and the quiet awareness that you are already enough before anyone validates you. This kind of inner fullness changes the way you love. You no longer love like a beggar. You love like a person with a home inside themselves. You do not grab people out of fear. You do not pressure them to fill your emptiness. You do not turn them into your only source of joy. You allow love to be beautiful without making it your entire identity. And because of that, your love becomes healthier. You can say yes without losing yourself. You can say no without guilt. You can care without becoming blind. You can forgive without giving unlimited access. You can be soft without being weak. You can be kind without being available to everyone. This is the balance most people never learn. They either become too attached or too cold. They either need people too much or push everyone away. But wholeness is not either of those. Wholeness is the middle path. It says, my heart is open, but my peace is protected. It says, I can love deeply, but I will not become desperate. It says, I can welcome people, but I will not build my entire life around them. That is true freedom, because needing no one does not mean living without love. It means living without emotional slavery. It means you no longer hand people the power to decide whether you are okay. It means your happiness is no longer a door someone else can open and close whenever they want. Imagine waking up and not checking your phone with fear. Imagine going through the day without waiting for one person to decide your mood. Imagine feeling calm even when someone is distant. Imagine being able to say, if they come with respect, welcome. If they leave with silence, I will still be whole. That is the life you are building. It will not happen in one day. Wholeness is not a single decision. It is a daily practice. Every day you choose not to betray yourself. Every day you choose not to chase what weakens you. Every day you choose not to turn loneliness into a reason to accept less. Every day you choose to fill your life with meaning instead of waiting for someone else to make it meaningful. Some days you will feel strong. Some days you will feel weak. Some days you will feel free. Some days the old attachment will knock again. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are healing. Healing is not a straight road. It is a return. Again and again you return to yourself, and each time you return, you become harder to break. The person you are becoming will not be impressed by bare minimum effort. They will not confuse inconsistency with mystery. They will not beg for love that should arrive naturally. They will not chase those who are peaceful without them. They will not stay attached to pain just because the past had beautiful moments. They will know the difference between what feels familiar and what feels healthy. This is important because sometimes your heart will miss what is familiar, not what is good. You may miss the person, the routine, the messages, the voice, the idea, the hope, but missing something does not mean you should return to it. A wound can miss the thing that wounded it. That is why wisdom must lead when emotion becomes weak. Wholeness gives you that wisdom. It helps you see that not every loss is punishment. Some losses are rescue. Some endings are protection. Some people leaving is life making room for your peace. At first it feels like rejection. Later it looks like mercy. You realize that if certain people had stayed, you might have lost the version of yourself you were meant to become. So do not fear losing people who are not afraid to lose you. Fear losing yourself. Fear becoming so attached that you cannot hear your own soul. Fear becoming so hungry for love that you accept disrespect as normal. Fear building your happiness on someone who does not know how to protect it. Fear spending your life waiting outside the door of someone who keeps forgetting you are there. Then choose differently. Choose to become your own safe place. Choose to build a life that feels peaceful even when no one is watching. Choose to become someone who can sit alone without feeling worthless. Choose to become someone who can love without losing balance. Choose to become someone whose happiness comes from within, not from attention. The most powerful transformation happens quietly. One day you simply do not react the same way. Their silence does not shake you like before. Their absence does not pull you back like before. Their return does not confuse you like before. Their attention does not make you forget what they did like before. You notice the change and realize, I am not the same person anymore. That is wholeness. Not because you stopped feeling, but because your feelings stopped controlling you. Not because you stopped loving, but because you learned to love yourself at the same time. Not because you stopped needing connection, but because you no longer need connection so badly that you accept pain as the price. This is the art of needing no one to be happy. It is not a rejection of people, it is a return to yourself. It is understanding that people can add beauty to your life, but they should never become the reason your life feels worth living. It is knowing that love is a gift, not a rescue mission. It is knowing that companionship is beautiful, but self-abandonment is too expensive. Become whole enough to need no one, and you will finally love from strength, not fear. You will stop asking who will stay with me, and begin asking who is healthy enough to walk beside me. You will stop asking how do I make them choose me, and begin asking do they deserve access to the peace I have built. You will stop asking am I enough for them, and begin asking, are they respectful enough for me? That shift changes everything, because the person who needs everyone is controlled by everyone. But the person who is whole can choose with clarity. They can open the door without desperation. They can close the door without hatred. They can receive love with gratitude. They can release people with dignity. And when you reach that place, life becomes lighter. You no longer carry the heavy need to be chosen by people who cannot even choose themselves with honesty. You no longer chase explanations from people whose actions already answered you. You no longer beg for warmth from cold places. You no longer make your heart a home for anyone who only visits when it is convenient. You become selective, not because you think you are better than others, but because you finally understand the value of your peace. You understand how long it took to rebuild yourself. You understand how many nights you spent healing from people who entered your life carelessly. You understand that access to you is not a small thing, so you protect it. You protect your time. You protect your mind. You protect your energy. You protect your softness. You protect your future. And the more you protect yourself, the more your life begins to feel like your own again. This is the ending of the old version of you, the version that waited too long, the version that explained too much, the version that begged for natural things, the version that thought being alone meant being unwanted, the version that confused anxiety with love, the version that kept choosing people who were peaceful without them. Honor that version. They were doing their best with the pain they had. But do not stay there. You are allowed to grow beyond the person you became while trying to be loved. You are allowed to become calm. You are allowed to become strong. You are allowed to become private. You are allowed to become unavailable to people who only knew how to use your availability. You are allowed to become so whole that your happiness no longer depends on being needed, noticed, chosen, or remembered. And when that happens, you will understand the real meaning of freedom. Freedom is not having everyone love you. Freedom is not never being disappointed. Freedom is not living without pain. Freedom is knowing that no disappointment has the power to take you away from yourself again. Someone may leave, but you remain. Someone may reject you, but you remain. Someone may misunderstand you, but you remain. Someone may forget your worth, but you remain. And because you remain, you can rebuild, you can breathe, you can continue, you can still create a beautiful life. That is the strongest kind of happiness. Not the happiness that depends on perfect people, perfect love, perfect timing, or perfect attention, but the happiness that rises from within you because you have finally stopped giving your soul away. Become whole enough to need no one. Then whoever comes into your life will meet a person who is already standing, already breathing, already growing, already peaceful. They will not meet someone waiting to be saved. They will meet someone who knows their value, someone who can love deeply, but walk away when respect disappears. Someone who can give warmth, but not tolerate coldness. Someone who can be loyal, but not loyal to their own destruction. This is who you are becoming, and once you become this person, you will never again confuse absence with emptiness. You will never again treat someone's attention like oxygen. You will never again beg for a place in a life where you should have been welcomed with care. You will know, I am whole, I am enough. I can love, but I do not need to lose myself. I can be alone, but I am not empty. I can welcome people, but I will not worship their presence. I can miss someone, but I will not return to pain. I can continue, because my happiness lives inside me now. That is the art of expecting nothing. That is the power of needing no one. That is the moment you finally become free. 9. The final freedom. Expect nothing, need no one, stay happy. The day you stop expecting people to become your source of happiness is the day your life begins to feel lighter. Not because everyone suddenly changes, not because the world becomes gentle, not because people stop disappointing you, but because something inside you finally stops begging life to be fair through other people's behavior. You begin to understand that peace is not something people give you. Peace is something you protect. Happiness is not something someone brings to your door. Happiness is something you build inside your own life, with your own hands, through your own choices, your own discipline, your own healing, and your own self-respect. This is the final freedom. It is the freedom of no longer waiting for someone to act right before you can feel okay. It is the freedom of no longer checking your phone like your worth is hiding inside a message. It is the freedom of no longer letting someone's silence become the loudest sound in your mind. It is the freedom of looking at people clearly and saying, "You are allowed to be who you are, but I am also allowed to protect my peace." Many people never reach this stage because they are addicted to emotional rescue. They want someone to come and make everything feel meaningful. They want someone to love them so deeply that all their old wounds disappear. They want someone's attention to silence their loneliness, someone's loyalty to fix their insecurity, someone's presence to prove that they are enough. But no one can permanently save a person who keeps abandoning themselves. If you do not learn to stand within your own soul, you will keep leaning on people who were never strong enough to hold you. If you do not learn to create happiness within your own life, you will keep blaming others for not bringing it to you. If you do not learn to comfort your own heart, you will keep chasing hearts that do not know how to handle yours with care. The art of expecting nothing is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming free from emotional slavery. It is saying, I can love people, but I will not make them my foundation. I can enjoy their presence, but I will not collapse in their absence. I can appreciate kindness, but I will not beg for it. I can trust, but I will still see clearly. I can give, but I will not destroy myself, waiting for the same energy to return. This is not bitterness. This is wisdom, because when you expect too much from people, you stop seeing them as humans and start treating them like answers. You expect them to answer your loneliness. You expect them to answer your self-doubt. You expect them to answer your fear of being forgotten. You expect them to answer the emptiness you have not yet faced. Then, when they fail, you feel betrayed. But sometimes they did not betray you as deeply as your own expectation did. You placed a responsibility on them that no imperfect human could carry forever. You made them the keeper of your peace, and then suffered when they dropped it. So take your peace back. Take it back from the person who replies only when it is convenient. Take it back from the person who knows your heart, but still plays with your feelings. Take it back from the friend who only appears when they need something. Take it back from the memory that keeps pulling you into a past that no longer exists. Take it back from the version of someone you created in your mind, while reality kept showing you something different. Your peace belongs to you. And once you understand this, you stop chasing explanations. You stop needing people to admit they hurt you before you allow yourself to heal. You stop waiting for apologies that may never come. You stop trying to make careless people understand the weight of what they did. Some people will never understand your pain because understanding it would require them to face their own behavior, and they are not ready for that mirror. So let them be. Let them think what they want. Let them tell the story in a way that protects their pride. Let them misunderstand your silence. Let them confuse your distance with weakness. You are not here to keep defending your healing to people who benefited from your brokenness. Your job is not to convince everyone. Your job is to become peaceful. When you need no one to be happy, you become impossible to control through attention. People can no longer pull you close with small kindness and push you away with coldness. They can no longer feed you crumbs and expect you to call it love. They can no longer punish you with silence and expect you to panic. They can no longer return after hurting you and assume your heart is still waiting at the same door. Because now you are different. You have learned that not every person deserves access to your energy. You have learned that love without respect is not enough. You have learned that emotional hunger can make poison taste sweet. You have learned that loneliness is safer than the wrong company. You have learned that peace is more valuable than a connection that keeps making you question yourself. This is where happiness becomes stable, not perfect. Stable. You will still have difficult days. You will still miss people. You will still feel sadness when something ends. You will still remember moments that once felt beautiful. But the difference is, you no longer let those feelings drag you back into places your soul has outgrown. You can feel pain without obeying it. You can miss someone without chasing them. You can care without reopening a door that should remain closed. That is strength. Real strength is not saying, "I need no one," with anger in your voice. Real strength is saying it with peace in your heart. It is knowing that people are welcome, but they are not your oxygen. It is knowing that love is beautiful, but self-respect is necessary. It is knowing that companionship is a blessing, but your life does not lose meaning when you walk alone. Become the kind of person who can sit in silence and not feel abandoned. Become the kind of person who can be alone and not feel unwanted. Become the kind of person who can watch someone leave and still say, "I remain." Become the kind of person who does not turn every loss into proof that they are not enough. Because sometimes a loss is not rejection. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes the person leaving is not life taking something from you. Sometimes it is life returning you to yourself. Sometimes the door closing is not punishment. Sometimes it is peace arriving in a form you did not understand at first. At the beginning, peace may feel empty because you are used to chaos. Calmness may feel boring because your heart has been trained to survive storms. Healthy distance may feel wrong because you are used to chasing. Self-respect may feel harsh because you are used to forgiving people before they even change. But stay with the peace. Give your nervous system time to learn that calm is safe. Give your heart time to understand that you do not have to earn love by suffering. Give your mind time to stop searching for danger in every silence. Give yourself time to become familiar with the version of you that no longer begs. That version is not cold. That version is healed, and healing changes your standards. You stop being impressed by words that are not followed by action. You stop accepting apologies that come without transformation. You stop being available to people who only value your presence when your absence becomes uncomfortable. You stop confusing someone's return with someone's growth. A person can come back and still be the same person. A person can miss you and still not be ready to love you correctly. A person can apologize and still repeat the wound. This is why you must watch patterns, not moments. Moments can be emotional. Patterns tell the truth. When you expect nothing, you see people clearly. You do not need to hate them. You do not need to punish them. You do not need to expose them. You simply stop building your happiness on what they might become. You accept what they have shown. You adjust your access. You move with dignity. This is the secret to staying happy. Stop giving permanent space to temporary people. Stop making long-term emotional investments in people who only bring short-term warmth. Stop letting someone rent a room in your heart when they cannot even respect the house. Stop staying attached to what hurts just because it once made you smile. Your life is too sacred for that. There is a quiet power in becoming private with your peace. You do not have to announce every boundary. You do not have to explain every distance. You do not have to tell people, I am choosing myself now. Just choose yourself. Let your actions become calm. Let your energy become selective. Let your silence speak where your explanations were ignored. And as you grow, you will notice something beautiful. The same things that once broke you will no longer control you. A delayed reply will not destroy your mood. Someone's coldness will not make you doubt your worth. A person leaving will not make you feel unlovable. A memory returning will not make you run backward. You will still feel, but you will not fall apart. That is the reward of inner work. One day you will wake up and realize you are no longer waiting for someone to make you feel chosen. You are choosing yourself with every peaceful decision. You are choosing yourself when you do not chase. You are choosing yourself when you do not beg. You are choosing yourself when you walk away from confusion. You are choosing yourself when you protect the calm you fought so hard to build. And that is when your happiness becomes yours again. Not borrowed, not dependent, not controlled, yours. So let this be the final lesson of this audiobook. Need no one to be happy, but never close your heart to love. Expect nothing from people, but never stop being kind. Walk alone when you must, but never become bitter. Protect your peace, but never lose your softness. Become whole, but remain human, because the goal is not to become untouchable. The goal is to become unshakable. Untouchable people are closed. Unshakable people are free. They can love, but they do not cling. They can give, but they do not beg. They can welcome people, but they do not worship presence. They can lose someone, but they do not lose themselves. They can be disappointed, but they do not let disappointment become their identity. This is the life you deserve. A life where your heart is not constantly waiting outside someone's door. A life where your mood is not controlled by another person's attention. A life where you no longer shrink yourself to be chosen. A life where you can breathe deeply because your happiness has returned to its rightful owner, you. So from this moment, stop waiting for people to become your peace. Stop expecting broken people to carry your happiness carefully. Stop turning love into survival. Stop begging for natural things. Stop chasing those who are peaceful without you. Stop staying attached to pain just because it is familiar. Come back to yourself. Build a life that feels beautiful even in silence. Build a mind that does not collapse under rejection. Build a heart that can love without becoming desperate. Build a future that does not depend on who stays. And when someone enters your life with respect, welcome them. When someone brings honesty, appreciate them. When someone loves you with consistency, value them. But if someone leaves, if someone changes, if someone forgets your worth, let them go without forgetting your own. That is freedom. Need no one. Expect nothing. Stay happy, not because life will never hurt you again, but because you will never again hand your happiness to people who do not know how to protect it. 10. Build a life so full that people become additions, not addictions. The most powerful way to need no one is not to hate people. It is to build a life so meaningful that people no longer feel like your only escape from emptiness. Many people say they want peace, but they keep living a life with nothing strong inside it. No purpose, no routine, no discipline, no personal growth, No inner direction, no private joy. So when one person enters their life and gives them attention, that person becomes everything. Their message becomes excitement. Their presence becomes identity. Their approval becomes oxygen. Their love becomes the only place where life feels alive. This is why attachment becomes dangerous. It does not always begin because someone is special. Sometimes it begins because your own life feels empty, and they become the only thing that fills it. You do not miss them only because of who they are. You miss how they made you forget the parts of your life you have not yet built. So if you want real freedom, do not only ask, how do I stop needing people? Ask, what kind of life am I building that makes me need them so badly? That question is honest. That question can change you. Because when your life is empty, even weak attention feels powerful. When your heart is hungry, even crumbs feel like love. When your mind has no purpose, one person's silence can become the biggest event of your day. But when your life is full, when your days have meaning, when your mind has direction, when your heart has self-respect, people no longer become addictions. They become additions. An addition makes your life better. An addiction makes your life unstable. An addition brings warmth without stealing your peace. An addiction brings excitement but also fear. An addiction respects the life you already have. An addiction slowly becomes the life itself. You must learn the difference. If someone's presence inspires you, calms you, respects you, and adds beauty to your life, that is healthy. But if their presence controls your mood, steals your focus, weakens your discipline, and makes you forget yourself, that is not love in its highest form. That is dependence wearing the mask of connection. A full life protects you from this. A full life does not mean you are busy every second. It means your soul has places to stand. It means you have habits that bring you back to yourself. It means you have goals that do not disappear because someone is distant. It means you have values that do not change because someone gives you attention. It means you have enough inner structure that one person cannot turn your entire world upside down whenever they choose. This is how you become strong. Build your mornings first. The way you begin your day teaches your mind who owns your peace. If the first thing you do is check whether someone replied, you have already given your power away before your feet touch the floor. You have told your heart, before I can feel okay, I need a sign from them. That is a dangerous way to live. Instead, begin your day by returning to yourself. Breathe. Sit quietly. Move your body. Read something that strengthens your mind. Write down one thing you will not allow to control you today. Remind yourself that your worth did not decrease overnight because someone was silent. Your morning should not begin inside another person's attention. It should begin inside your own presence. Build your body next. A neglected body makes the mind weaker. When you are tired, unhealthy, restless, and disconnected from yourself, emotions become heavier than they really are. A single message can shake you. A small disappointment can crush you. But when you care for your body, you teach yourself respect in a physical form. Walk, stretch, drink water, sleep properly, eat with awareness, stand straight. Breathe deeply. Do not treat your body like it only exists to carry emotional pain. It is your home. The more you strengthen it, the more stable your mind becomes, and a stable mind does not run after people as easily. Build your mind with the same seriousness. Your thoughts are not harmless when you repeat them every day. If you keep replaying who left, who hurt you, who ignored you, who did not choose you, your mind becomes a room full of old pain. Then you wonder why you cannot feel free. Freedom requires mental discipline. You cannot heal while feeding the wound every hour. You cannot become peaceful while constantly revisiting the same memory. You cannot move forward while building a home in what already ended. At some point, you must stop giving your attention to things that weaken you. Not because the pain was not real, but because your future is real too. Choose what enters your mind. Listen to words that make you stronger. Read things that return you to wisdom. Avoid the kind of content, conversations, and memories that make you feel desperate, jealous, angry, or small. Your mind is not a public road where anything can pass through. It is a garden. If you do not guard it, painful thoughts will grow like weeds and call themselves truth. Build your purpose. This is one of the deepest cures for emotional dependence. A person without purpose becomes easy to control because they have too much empty space inside their days. They wait, they overthink, they check, they imagine, they create stories from silence. But a person with purpose has a direction that does not stop because someone else becomes unclear. Purpose does not have to be grand at first. It can begin with one skill, one project, one routine, one promise to yourself, one area of your life that you decide to improve. Your purpose is anything that makes you feel responsible for your own growth. It is the quiet answer to the part of you that keeps looking for someone else to make life meaningful. When you have purpose, you still feel emotions, but you do not drown in them. You may miss someone, but you still show up for your day. You may feel sadness, but you still honor your commitments. You may feel lonely, but you do not turn loneliness into an excuse to return to what hurt you. Purpose gives your pain somewhere to transform. Build your environment. Many people underestimate how much their surroundings affect their emotions. If your space is messy, heavy, dark, and full of reminders of the past, your heart will keep feeling trapped. Clean your room, change the air, remove what keeps reopening the wound. Make your space feel like a place where healing is possible. Your environment should not constantly pull you backward. It should support the person you are becoming. A peaceful space can help create a peaceful mind. And when your own space becomes comforting, you stop running to people just to escape your life. Build your standards. This is where many people fail. They want peace, but they keep allowing access to people who disturb it. They say they want self-respect, but they still answer every call from someone who disrespects them. They say they are done begging, but they still reward the person who gives the bare minimum. Standards are not words. Standards are decisions repeated under pressure. It is easy to say, "I will not chase." The test comes when you miss them. It is easy to say, "I deserve respect." The test comes when someone attractive, familiar, or emotionally important gives you disrespect mixed with affection. It is easy to say, "I choose peace." The test comes when attachment offers you another chance to enter the same cycle. Your standards must become stronger than your loneliness. This does not mean you become harsh. It means you become clear. If someone brings confusion, you do not build your life around them. If someone only appears when it suits them, you do not treat them like a priority. If someone repeatedly hurts you and calls it a mistake, you stop giving unlimited chances to repeated behavior. A full life has gates. Not everyone gets full access. Not everyone deserves your emotional energy. Not everyone who misses you deserves to return. Not everyone who says sorry deserves the same place again. You can forgive people without putting them back where they can wound you the same way. Build your self-trust. This may be the most important part. Every time you abandon yourself for someone, you lose trust in your own soul. Every time you say, "I am done," and then return to the same pain, a part of you stops believing your own promises. Every time you ignore your intuition, your inner voice becomes quieter. To become whole, you must become someone you can trust. Keep small promises. If you say you will not check their profile, do not check it. If you say you will sleep early, sleep early. If you say you will not send the message, do not send it. If you say you will spend 1 hour improving yourself, do it. These small promises rebuild your inner strength. Self-trust is powerful because once you trust yourself, you stop fearing abandonment so deeply. You know that if someone leaves, you will still protect yourself. If someone disappoints you, you will still choose wisely. If someone returns with the same old pattern, you will not betray yourself for temporary comfort. This is how you become free from needing people. You do not become free by pretending you feel nothing. You become free by becoming someone who can handle what they feel without destroying their own peace. A full life also includes healthy love. Do not misunderstand this chapter. The goal is not to become isolated. The goal is not to push everyone away. The goal is not to say, "I need no one," with bitterness, and then live behind emotional walls. That is not healing. That is fear wearing armor. The goal is to love from fullness. When you love from emptiness, you cling. When you love from fullness, you choose. When you love from emptiness, you tolerate too much, because you fear losing the person. When you love from fullness, you can walk away because losing your peace is more frightening than losing someone who does not value it. Love should enter your life as beauty, not survival. It should not be the only reason you wake up with hope. It should not be the only thing that makes you feel important. It should not be the only proof that you are worthy. Real love is powerful, but it should never replace your relationship with yourself. So build a life where love is welcome, but not worshipped. Build friendships that are calm and honest. Build routines that strengthen you. Build skills that give you confidence. Build quiet moments that reconnect you with your soul. Build financial, emotional, mental, and spiritual stability. Build a life where your happiness has many roots. So if one person leaves, the whole tree does not die. This is important. If all your happiness has only one root, one person can destroy the whole tree by walking away. But if your happiness has many roots, purpose, health, self-respect, faith, discipline, creativity, friendship, learning, solitude, then no single absence can take your entire peace. That is the kind of life you need, a life with many roots. When your life has many roots, you stop treating people like emergency medicine. You stop needing them to fix every mood. You stop asking them to carry the emotional weight that belongs to your own healing. You stop making one person responsible for a life you have not taken responsibility for. And then something beautiful happens. Your relationships become cleaner. You no longer approach people with hunger. You approach them with presence. You do not need to control them. You do not need to force them. You do not need to turn them into your whole world. You can enjoy them without losing yourself. This makes you more peaceful to love and more difficult to manipulate, because a person who has nothing but attachment will accept almost anything to keep it. But a person with a full life can say no. They can step back. They can observe. They can let people reveal themselves. They can choose peace over chemistry, character over charm, consistency over excitement. That is wisdom. There will be moments when the old version of you returns. You may still feel the urge to chase. You may still miss someone who was not good for you. You may still feel tempted to lower your standards because loneliness becomes heavy. Do not hate yourself for this. Healing is not the absence of old feelings. Healing is the decision not to let old feelings become old behavior. When that urge comes, return to your life. Return to the body you are strengthening. Return to the mind you are protecting. Return to the purpose you are building. Return to the standards you promised yourself. Return to the peace that cost you too much to lose again. This is why a full life matters. It gives you somewhere to return. Without a full life, you only return to memories. You return to old messages. You return to the same person. You return to the same wound. But when you build a meaningful life, you return to yourself. You return to your future. You return to the person you are becoming. And slowly, the need begins to fade. You no longer need them to call because your day already has direction. You no longer need them to choose you because you are choosing yourself through action. You no longer need them to validate you because your own growth becomes proof. You no longer need them to stay because you are no longer abandoning yourself when they leave. This is the strongest form of happiness. It is quiet. It is stable. It does not depend on someone else's mood. It does not collapse because of one silence. It does not beg for attention. It does not panic when people change. It does not chase what refuses to stay with respect. It simply stands, and people will feel that difference in you. Some will respect it, some will not like it. Some will miss the version of you that was always available, always forgiving, always waiting, always explaining. Let them miss that version. You did not heal to become convenient for people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. You healed to become free. A full life may make you less accessible, but it will make you more alive. You will have less time for confusion because your energy is moving toward growth. You will have less patience for disrespect because your peace has become valuable. You will have less interest in chasing because your own path has become meaningful. This is not selfish. This is responsibility. You are responsible for the life you keep expecting others to improve. You are responsible for the peace you keep asking others to protect. You are responsible for the happiness you keep waiting for someone else to bring. Once you accept this responsibility, you become powerful. You stop saying, "They ruined my day," and start saying, "I gave them too much power over my day." You stop saying, "They made me feel worthless," and start saying, "Their behavior touched a wound I still need to heal." You stop saying, "I cannot be happy without them," and start saying, "I have not yet built enough inside myself." This is not blaming yourself. This is taking your power back, because blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility moves you forward. Blame says, "They control my peace." Responsibility says, "I can rebuild my peace." Blame says, "They left me empty." Responsibility says, "I will learn to become full." Blame says, "They did not choose me." Responsibility says, "I will stop abandoning myself." That shift is life-changing. Build a life so full that silence does not scare you. Build a life so full that someone's absence does not make you feel erased. Build a life so full that love becomes a blessing, not a rescue. Build a life so full that your happiness is not waiting for permission from anyone. And do not wait for perfect motivation. Start with small actions. One clean room, one honest boundary, one better morning, 1 hour of focused work, one walk, one page, one prayer, one decision not to chase, one decision not to beg, one decision to choose yourself. When the old pattern calls your name, small actions become identity. Every time you choose peace, you become a peaceful person. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become trustworthy to yourself. Every time you refuse to chase, you become stronger than your attachment. Every time you build your life instead of waiting for someone to fix it, you become whole. And one day you will notice that your happiness no longer feels fragile. People can come, and you will welcome them with warmth. People can go, and you will release them with dignity. Someone can love you, and you will enjoy it. Someone can misunderstand you, and you will not collapse trying to correct their view. Someone can leave, and you will still remain rooted. That is the life of a person who needs no one to be happy. Not lonely, rooted, not cold, clear, not bitter, free. When your life is full, you stop making people bigger than they are. You see them as human beings, not saviors. You allow them to be imperfect without letting their imperfection destroy your inner world. You appreciate love without making it your foundation. You accept endings without turning them into proof that you are not enough. This is the art of expecting nothing. This is the art of staying happy. This is the art of becoming so deeply at home within yourself that no one's arrival feels like salvation, and no one's departure feels like death. Build your life. Fill it with meaning. Fill it with discipline. Fill it with calm. Fill it with growth. Fill it with self-respect. Fill it with the kind of peace that does not need an audience. Then when people enter, they will meet a person who is already whole. And when people leave, they will leave behind a person who is still standing. That is real power. That is real freedom. That is how you need no one, expect nothing, and still stay happy. In the end, the strongest heart is not the one that never needed love. It is the one that learned not to lose itself while loving. So stop handing your happiness to people who do not know how to protect it. Stop waiting for someone's message to decide your mood. Stop begging for peace from the same places that keep disturbing it. Need no one to be happy. Expect nothing from anyone. Stay soft, but stay free. Because when you become whole within yourself, people can leave, change, forget, or disappoint you, but they can no longer destroy you. Your peace is yours now. Protect it, live from it, and never again become a prisoner of someone else's presence.